Hey, thanks for stopping by my channel. Here's the tool. It's called Easy Pro Texture. I bought this tool at Sherwin-Williams and it retailed for about $75. If you like the tool in this video, that's where you can pick it up. Hey, let's go to the video and see how to use this thing. Hi, this is Spencer Colgan from Spencer Colgan is Wallpaper. Take a look at these holes in the wall, right here and right here. Now after paint, and this dimple here. After painting the wall and finishing it, you may have a customer who actually wants to change the location of some art on the wall. And you're left with this after painting. But take a look close, just show them the texture. If you can come up on a close angle. Can you see the bumps in that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you get a good taping knife, it comes with a hard hammer-like handle so that you can use it both to tape and also to bang nails in. So let's do that. Whenever you're pushing in a dimple, you'll always displace material that needs to just get scraped off. The least amount, the best. And this has to be evened out. And what I like to do with these holes that have had anchors, when you thread an anchor into a wall, you imperceptibly raise the wall because the threaded portion of those PVC anchors, when they thread in, they're pulling on the wall. So we're just gonna cause a little indentation to both. Scrape them down. That's it. And so we're preparing this to receive not only filler, but also texture. Now, off camera, I filled my hawk with some 5-minute mud. This stuff, as you know, it's hard pretty quickly. And so for this repair, it's appropriate. There's very little shrinking with 5-minute mud. And when we put it in the hole, we know that we'll be able to texture over it just within an hour. And so I push that in there. I overfill it. And then I take off the excess. I do the same thing with this. Looking to overfill it. When you see it pushing out, you know you've overfilled it. Same thing. So now you can see, if you go up close on an angle, looking on an angle, they can see that it's still not flush, meaning that the repair hole is not exactly flush with the rest of the wall. And so I'm going to give this a couple of minutes. I'm just going to refill it, do the same exact thing one more time, and then we'll show you how to put the texture on. I'm going to show you a new tool on how to get quick texture tasks done without setting up the hopper, mixing mud, cleaning out the hopper, and all of that. It's a quick tool. It'll cost you about $75, but stay tuned and I'll show you what it is. So now we're on the second step. Like I said in the beginning, I put a second layer of 5-minute mud on there. Now it's curing, but it's hard. We're ready to go. Let me give it a quick little sand with my sandpaper and a vacuum just to catch any dust that might come up. Although I don't think that we'll have dust because it's damp. Okay. Now, I want to introduce you to the tool that we're going to use to get the job done. This is a pancake compressor. Okay. I want it at 60 psi to get this particular job done. The technology I'm going to use is from Easy Pro Texture. This is a bag of texture ready to go. All you have to do is squeeze the bag to make it go through the texture gun. And that's my Easy Pro texture gun. Now I paid, I think $75 for it. But you know what? For a quick job like this, for those of you who have done texture, you know the setup. Mixing the mud, dumping it into the hopper, texturing the wall, cleaning out the hopper. It's quite a task. But meanwhile, we're just going to do this, okay? Now you're not going to do an entire wall with this thing, but some of you are going to do an entire wall with this thing because you can, but it's not efficient. Okay. Okay. And all we're going to do with the bag of texture is connect it right to here. What's nice about this is that it's reusable. You keep it in a cool place, out of the sunlight, and you'll get more use out of it. Now folks, I'm ready to go. My texture is set at 60 psi for orange peel texture. It's different for knockdown. So I'm going to show you how to do orange peel real quickly. Now just show them how we masked off the television and the floor below. I don't anticipate a lot of overspray, but I don't want any of this on the TV because then it's going to cost me time to clean it, right? So make sure that you do a good job masking off the essentials. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to have some noise, so I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do before we do it. When the compressor goes on, I'm just going to discharge, I'm going to press this gun, and I'm going to squeeze the bag. Can you hear it? You can hear it gurgling. So you're acting like gravity. With the hopper, the material is gravity fed. As you know, you dump the material into this big hopper, and then gravity feeds it into the system. You pull the trigger, and then it's forced through the air. Here, you're acting like gravity by squeezing this. You're forcing the texture up into the airflow. It's very simple. You can see the more I squeeze, the more comes out. The less I squeeze, the less it comes out. Remember, it's 60 psi for orange peel. the volume of material that comes out depends not on the air so much, but on the pressure you put on the bag. So you test it out on something before you actually go to the repair. And then you don't want to continuously press the trigger. You want to do short spurts. The nice thing about this is we can take a sponge and wipe down any lines. We don't want lines, we want balls of this texture. So any lines like that, we just wipe off with a damp sponge. And then we're ready to paint it. Notice how I paid close attention to the perimeter of the repair. That's where the repair meets the bumps of the old texture. You want to make sure that you sand them down sufficiently that the repair compound fills in all of the valleys of the bumps. And then when you sand it, you really should go in a circular motion, or even with a wet sponge, getting in between the bumps so that you don't have a ridge on your repair. And so let's see how we did when it dries. I wasn't satisfied with the fullness of the texture. So I went ahead and applied a little more to both repairs. I'm pretty satisfied now that I've gotten the texture that I'm looking for. What am I using? I'm using Emerald from Sherwin-Williams. This has a very dense material, this paint. Lots of good stuff in it, very good high-grade paint. And so I'm substituting a primer because we have sufficient primer elements in this paint to suffice for a separate primer coat. Secondly, I want the color. I don't want white primer on this wall. I want to hit that repair, get it done. So what do you think? I like it. Here is our repair. And you can see, for those of you who paint, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's why we prime it. And here's our finished product. We like to show you the finished product so that you can judge completely on the workmanship. So we have the repair over here, and of course right here. There you have it.